I love that we're going so far back. Especially, I think there's something very cool with prequels in the way that they can make you love the things you already love even more. So the fact that we're going to be seeing things that are potentially going to make us love the Hobbit films and the Lord of the Rings films and potentially the books as well.
Well, hello there, you beautiful and amazing people. I'm some guy called Aaron, and welcome to the channel.
Hello there.
Amazon has gone full-on damage control, and it's been hilarious for all these Tolkien fans, including me, to just sit back and go, fucking told you.
No, you cannot joke about that.
Yeah, that's not funny, Arthur. That's not the kind of humor we do on this show.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's just, it's been a rough few weeks, Murray.
So yeah, Amazon put out a reaction superfans panel, and let's be honest, it was complete dog shit.
It certainly does suck.
There wasn't a single fan there. It was just a group of actors that went, Lord of the Rings, yes. And that's pretty much what their answers were.
What? What the fuck?
So yeah, Amazon has unlisted it because it got so bad. Now, Amazon, being Amazon, just copied and pasted and put it around to Spanish Amazon, German, the Netherlands, French, everywhere. All these countries done panels, and it was just a complete and utter clusterfuck. But the backlash was so bad on the UK Amazon that they had to unlist the video to hide it from everyone.
You have your tiny, shiny fucking mind.
Now, I hear you say, how bad was it? It was fucking bad. They don't know anything about Lord of the Rings, but these are super fans.
Because I don't know what they're talking about. It's a load of Barry, so it is.
Barry?
Barry, right? Shite!
So yeah, if you want to have a look, I highly recommend Disparu's whole breakdown of it, because that's where I got my first information of the copy and paste answer, so I will link that down below, so go check him out. It's incredible how bad it is.
Every time I was like, okay, take a breath, something new would happen, and it was...
It's Middle-earth, there's never peace, right? If, Sauron is hot, I feel like people will be like, I can fix him.
Middle-earth had like a club.
Yo, this tune is banging!
Awestruck, mystified, and starstruck.
Wow.
But yeah, this panel, this UK panel, how good was it? Yeah, we got such amazing insight from these people.
We're introduced to the first black elf. We're introduced to the first female dwarf.
Known far and wide, full of the bounties of vine and vale, peaceful and prosperous.
Yeah, so we got a list of words like, diverse, people of color, I want to see myself, representation, breathtaking, women representation.
I feel like people will be like, let's say, it's
Taking.
represent, more diversity within this series,
The list is incredible of the insight that we got. And none of it actually referred to anything in the this trailer or any of Tolkien's work. Clearly, because they don't know what the fuck they are talking about.
I also want to say representative, because we're getting, more diversity within this series. We're seeing our first black elf, we're seeing the first dwarf, and I'm very looking forward to, looking at that. And then, I guess, intriguing, because obviously this period of history with the Middle-earth is very rife with notions of the plot of The Hobbit and seeing how the Rings of Power are being
Forge. I am going to go in there and I am going to take you.
Fucking not. Fuck off.
I'll fuck. Jesus Christ!
Oh, you know what? You've hurt yourself.
I've got so much on as it is.
So the key thing is that they keep mentioning is we need diversity. We need this. We need quotas. We need representation for women and people of color. Now the entire panel had some tick the box exercise in there, and they all said it. We read the books, we read this, we read that, we saw the movies, but now it's a problem.
In the original film series, which I absolutely adored, but there are not many women in it, and the 3 women who are in it never speak to one another.
So how was it not a problem before, but it's a problem now? Yes. So it clearly highlights this fucking bullshit. It's just a tick the box exercise, and they're appealing to Twitter because they want more likes on Twitter.
Hello, Philip Schofield. I fuck lobsters for money.
So, yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Tolkien's work is timeless. It is fully inclusive, and they even say that, which is fucking annoying.
Because Tolkien's work was always about being inclusive. I mean, we see it through the Fellowship, like a bunch of people from different backgrounds coming together in order to face a common enemy, being Sauron.
But they say, oh, it's so incredible. It had the diversity in it. It represented everyone, but now we have to change it. You're like, God, no. Tolkien's work has been translated to 38 languages and has been distributed around the world, from English to French to German to Chinese to Japanese to everything in between. And no one has had a problem with it apart from all the crazies that have started coming out of the woodwork in recent years.
You're a dick! You're a dick! You're under the thumb! And you're a prick!
But these are super fans. They clearly know best. Clearly.
Be like some ancestor of the Baggins or something. Yeah.
Always those Bagginses getting into trouble.
They should never have left a shot.
So let's talk about these super fans. Now, how much have they actually talked about any Lord of the Rings? What's their knowledge of Lord of the Rings? The Tolkien's work, his whole mythology on this incredible universe. What would you say? Now, I'll give you a second to guess. Is it a lot? Is it just, you know, these are super fans. Are they scholars? Do they have degrees in it? No, clearly, absolutely fuck all. One of them is a YouTube/TikTok Harry Potter fucking weirdo. Yes, because Harry Potter is the same as Lord of the Rings and all of other Tolkien's work. Thanks, Amazon.
Give me another couple of minutes.
Now on this panel, there is pretty much no actual talking of the trailer. They mention a few little buzzwords, a key phrase here, a key phrase there.
A sphincter says what?
What?
A sphincter says what? Exactly.
They don't mention any single thing about anything in the trailer. It's just useless fucking copy paste. There you go. There's your notes. Learn them. Don't fuck it up. Which they fucked up in general. But anyway. They mention Galadriel. And they have now openly said that they are changing Galadriel because we see her in the movies that she's this feminine, this ethereal, this beautiful, mystic being that, you know, to a Tolkien fan, is one of the most powerful people in all of the lore. She's the greatest magic wielder there is, currently living at that time. And there's also saying, oh, we're going to see this, you know, boisterous, adventurous, super amazing adventure of Galadriel.
Girl Galadriel.
Yeah, I love Galadriel.
That part in the trailer when she come round waterfall with the knife and like.
Yes.
I'm already obsessed. I'm already obsessed.
In her young days, which makes no sense, because she's a fucking elf that's 1,000 odd years old at this point. But of course, these superfans obviously know what they're talking about. They clearly know what they are talking about, because they say, oh, it's this young Galadriel, oh, it's this, it's that. Now, yes, she is young by elven standards. Of course, they do not die of old age. But they do not have a fucking clue what they're talking about.
The way we've seen her in the movies, she's been very like flowy,
Yeah.
serene. She's not doing much, and this time she's like blonde.
Because we are so far in the past, and I'm so excited to just see this younger version of her, and there's so much.
We know every single thing that she done at that period in the second and first age. It is written, Tolkien is very specific about it, but no, these superfans know best. So what great pieces of insight did we also get about Galadriel? That's right, fuck all. They mentioned her dagger.
I mean, I want her dagger. It looks
very cool.
stunning and beautiful, and
You
I'm
might have
gonna...
to fight for it, man, because she looks good at that.
She would kill me.
That she used to climb a frozen mountain in the winter in full armor with metal gauntlets, because that's something that they would do.
You serious?
But that's just me. I'm clearly not a Tolkien scholar. I would class myself as an above average Tolkien fan. Possibly super fan. I am. But even I can fucking see this as stupid. Let's go mountain climbing with fucking gauntlets on and some knives. Yay!
Why make trillions when we could make billions?
A trillion is more than a billion, numbnuts.
All right, zip it.
Yeah. No. Let's talk about Sauron. Because they did mention Sauron in this amazing promotion. And what did they say? I would love to fuck Sauron.
With him and be like, I can change him.
We all love a bad boy, don't we?
Because that's what these people care about. Skin color, representation, and that representation there has to be them. They have to see themselves.
Representative, because we're getting like more diversity within this series. Like we're seeing our first black elf, we're seeing the first wolf, and I'm very looking forward to like looking at that.
And where they can get fucked. They're the three things they care about. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Superficial shit.
Everybody knows you never go full retard.
They only care about who they can have sex with, if they can see themselves, and representation. Yeah. It's gonna suck so much. The only thing that they could say about Sauron the Deceiver. Now remember, Galadriel being this ethereal, this ancient, elven, amazing, beautiful, feminine, perfect entity who saw straight through Sauron because she had learned, she had experienced life, she's seen through everything. She instantly seen what he was going to do. He saw that he was trying to deceive everyone by creating weak rings as he built his own powerful one ring. And all that they could say about this whole thing was, I'd like to stick my knob in Sauron.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Yeah. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I really, really don't get it. But apparently that matters where you get fucked. That's the only thing that matters to them.
Gonna know day that. How? Just gonna know.
Now, call me old-fashioned. When I want to watch some TV, some movies, read a book, play some computer games, do stuff like that, I want to be taken out of this world. I don't want to really see myself in there. I might build a character sort of based on me if I have that option, where I could go, you know, change it to, I want to be this giant, huge, strong, muscular beast of a man that can destroy everything that moves. I'm not a tall dude. I'm thick as fuck, but not a tall dude. So, completely fantasy. But these people have to see themselves. They have to see themselves. Now, I want escapism. Escapism is key in all just fantasy, sci-fi, whatever genre you want to go into. You should sit back and go, I am clearly not this, but I understand it. I can think that, oh yeah, I understand that. I can completely see myself there. I could see myself doing that. But that's not me. I understand. I'm a grown-up. I could see that. They're clearly not. These are just spoilt children that I want. I've been told I can do whatever I want their entire life.
Casting decisions. It's really, really exciting to see. It's just going to mean so much to like me personally because it's getting that representation in midlife. Young kids are going to see that on screen, and it's just going to be really nice for them to be like, oh, hey, there's someone that looks just like me.
So yeah, escapism is not a thing anymore. It has been overtaken with narcissism. If it's not what they want, if they can't see themselves in that image, it is wrong.
Now, diversity, especially on screen as an actor, means a lot to me because growing up, I hardly had that watching TV in a lot of films and stuff. Never saw people of my colour. So it's exciting to see that, you know, diversity is being explored in the Rings of Power. What are your thoughts on the casting decision?
I'm very excited for it because Tolkien's work was always about being inclusive. I mean, we see it through the Fellowship, like a bunch of people from different backgrounds coming together in order to face a common enemy, being Sauron, and just seeing the
Narcissistic scum, that's all I can say.
Darling, I wouldn't fucking piss on you if you were fucking allergic to piss, right?
Now, if we look at Tolkien's work, we know the key themes, the key elements of his entire existence of creating Lord of the Rings. He loved the mythology. He looked at all the British and English history that had been taken over by the Norse people, the Saxons that came across, that just changed every bit of history up until that point, and then it just sort of disappeared.
I thought, well, we need to reinvent the genre a little bit. And I just thought, well, why don't we just take our lead again from Tolkien? I mean, it's there in the book. He wasn't writing fantasy. I don't believe in the 12 years that he was sitting down in his little attic room up in his house writing this thing in longhand. I don't believe for a minute he thought he was writing a fantasy story. Not 1 minute. He was an Oxford professor who dedicated his life to a love of mythology, ancient mythology, which is not fantasy. It's very different. Mythology is different to fantasy, and Tolkien always mourned the fact that England's mythology had been eradicated by the Norman invasion in 1066. The mythology is based on oral stories that are passed down from generation to generation before the printing presses. And, the Greek mythologies of the Trojan horse and Achilles and things, they survived through the years. The great Norse sagas survived through the years. But England, when the Normans invaded, whatever stories had been nurtured were eradicated by that. And so England's mythology was like medieval stuff like Robin Hood and King Arthur. I mean, it didn't go any further back than that. So Tolkien thought he wanted to create a mythology for his country, for England.
And we know that he wanted to create this history that you look at it and go, oh yeah, that makes sense. You could see it sort of created in England. You can see it in Britain. You can see where these people would live in this country, that country. They'd be in this place, they'd be in that place. We can see that. We understand it. You read the books, you look at the maps, everything's, pretty obvious to where everything is. Now, it's clear that Tolkien really hated industrialization. We could see that. He openly said, I wish I was born in a different century, maybe 100 years prior to this, before the landscape of Britain was just chimneys and smoke, where I could live in the countryside, maybe in a nice cottage, a nice estate. I don't know. The stuff he loved. He wanted the peace, the quiet, the nature. You could see it through all these races, and possibly that the hobbits represent Tolkien the most.
He said he was born 100 years too late, that he would have liked to have lived in England in a pre-industrial age.
We could see that. We can see that. He loved this stuff. He just wanted a quiet life in this beautiful setting. And then as they go further and further away from the Shire, you see more and more industrialization. The evil corruption takes hold. They take this horrible, destructive power and just wield it like crazy, creating everything. And Tolkien said the worst thing ever created by humans was the machines. And yeah, I understand what he means. It's when you see it in his writing, you can understand everything he is talking about.
In the early 1800s, before, in the middle of that century, the chimneys and the factories started sort of spreading across the landscape. And a lot of the Lord of the Rings is about that, the destruction of forests and the rise of metal and machines. He hated machines. He said that the most evil creation ever visited on this world was the internal combustion engine.
Now, another thing that he talked about a lot, and you can see it throughout, is friendship. Friendship to him is such a special, beautiful thing. You can look at it and you can see all this amazing stuff where let's be honest, he went to war, he lost all of his friends apart from a select handful, and it's clearly played on his mind. He understands every little incident there that happened, that he fought in the trenches, he watched his friends die, so friendship and love to him is key.
I made what we tried to do with the movie, because there's also a lot of themes in Tolkien, obviously more than just the plot. There's all this. Well, there's there's a lot of themes in Tolkien. Friendship. I mean, he was mentorship. He was in the First World War. He was in the trenches. He went into World War I with his classmates his school chums, and by the end of World War One, only two of them were still alive. He saw men die. He saw friendship under fire. He understood what that was like, and Frodo and Sam's relationship is very much based on that.
You can see it with Sam and Frodo. They go through this traumatic, horrid time. And then they come out the best of friends. They look after each other. They care for each other. You can see a sort of lord and servant to begin with. And then as they travel through Middle-earth and then come back, it's no longer lord and servant. It's, you are my best friend. I love you wholeheartedly. We can see this with Legolas and Gimli. The two races hate each other, of dwarves and elves. And yet here we are, looking at these two hated people come together at their final breath and go, I'm happy to die alongside my friend. I love you wholeheartedly.
I thought I'd die fighting side by side with an elf.
What about side by side with a friend?
I could do that.
And in the end, what happens? Gimli becomes the first dwarf to go to the Undying Lands with his friend Legolas. Incredible. It is such a pure friendship. But these super fans don't understand that. They just want to see them butt fuck.
Excuse me? A baking powder?
I don't get it. I don't get why they're so obsessed with sex and fucking each other, and whose dick is going where, and whose fucking lady bit is getting ate on today. Tolkien just wants simple friendship, to enjoy the simple things in life. That's it. That's it. It is simple and pure. Instead, we get this bastardization that is just destroying everything.
Give me another couple of minutes.
And let's be honest, are we that surprised? Because it's almost like Tolkien told us, where we see this evil coming from a horrible land, California, and other places like that are just destroying, corrupting, bringing evil into this world and just corrupting, like the orcs are corrupted elves, and manipulated into destroying everything that moves. It's kind of like Tolkien told us, where we are the Shire. The Tolkien fans are the Shire. And we're watching the corruption come closer and closer and closer. And if that's not a metaphor to end on, I don't know what is. So I thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate it. And as always, people, stay awesome and fuck Amazon.